Well, thank you, Chair. And I have 4 minutes, and I'll make 4 brief points in those 4 minutes, I hope. And I want to be very practical and look at this as UNHCR, an organization that works on the ground now with tens of millions of people around the world, and very closely with faith-based organizations. I want to talk practically about the important role that faith-based organizations do play in our work and continue to play. And I'll break this up into the stages we act in terms of our response to crises. First of all, in terms of prevention, it would be wonderful if there weren't displaced people in the world, and this will require the kind of political will, but also the kind of building and supporting of tolerance around the world that prevents conflicts from starting, and the role that faith-based organizations can play there should be obvious to all. After a crisis happens and people flee their homes and across borders, faith-based organizations have worked very closely with UNHCR in providing emergency relief. And there are, in some ways, faith-based organizations are like other NGOs, providing important services. And I worked for many years at a Catholic university that had a mission of social justice, and we used to say that we help people in need not because they are Catholic, but because we are Catholic. And I think this is true for many other faith-based organizations. There's from the source values of that organization, they seek to help people in need. But I think faith-based organizations have added advantages beyond many NGOs in terms of their local knowledge on the ground, the deep links that they build with communities of people, and the fact that they are trusted to have the needs of people in need at heart. Secondly, third stage, that's immediate relief. Third stage is to help return people to their normal lives. Too often we see people living endlessly in refugee camps or other situations of displacement, and we need to get people back on their feet to help them recover, to help them live the kind of life they had before they were displaced. Faith-based organizations play an important role there in several ways. First of all, religion is a part of most people's normal life. And faith-based organizations can help restore that part of their life as much as people need food or shelter or medical care. This is a human need that needs to be restored. Secondly, faith-based organizations can combat xenophobia and anti-foreigner attitudes and conduct by the message shared by all the religions of the world of welcome the stranger and supporting human dignity of all people. And thirdly, faith-based organizations, I think, have a particularly important role in helping people in the transition to a normal life, in recovering after displacement. Displaced people are dealing with trauma, with loss, with a need to give meaning to their lives. And I just want to quote very briefly High Commissioner Guterres, who made this statement in his opening remarks at the High Commissioner's Dialogue on Faith and Protection in 2013. He said the following. He said, "For the vast majority of uprooted people, there are few things as powerful as their faith in helping them cope with fear, loss, separation, and destitution. Faith is also central to hope and resilience. Religion is often the key in enabling refugees to overcome their trauma, to make sense of their loss, and rebuild their lives from nothing." And that's a particular role that faith-based organizations can play beyond what other organizations do in times of crisis. Lastly, in terms of solutions, it's very important for displaced people to be able to go home or start their lives in another country or integrate into the country into which they've been displaced. Faith-based organizations can play, I think, a stronger role here than they have in the past. And the model might be the U.S. resettlement model. The United States of America resettles 70, 80, 90,000 refugees a year. And most of them are resettled with the help of faith-based organizations in the United States, which is quite interesting because it allocates people all around the United States as local congregations will help work with particular refugees. I would think that this model could be more fully adopted in Europe and other places of resettlement, with faith-based organizations playing a significant role in resettlement. And one final word, Chair, here to humanitarians. In suggesting a role for faith-based organizations, I'm not suggesting proselytization by those organizations. I know we're all clear on that. But I am suggesting that the sometimes assumed secularism of humanitarianism needs to be examined, that faith-based organizations recognize and affirm an important element of human existence and of belonging. Thank you very much.
Thank you.